Hi, this Real Estate Insight is brought to you by myself, Cliff. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Cliff is my agent. So I'm here at Starbucks getting ready to meet some clients for a buyer consultation. So let me bring you up to speed. Before meeting here, the client and I will have had a chance to have a conversation or two on the telephone. Basically to get insights as to what their vision for their future home looks like. I'll make a note of characteristics, and then I'll plug those characteristics into a search engine that will automatically email the client and myself different homes that fit that criteria that are active listings in the marketplace. From there, the homes that they select that they like or preference, I will be emailed those preferences. I will put those homes in a spreadsheet on Google Docs that we can share. This is like our shopping list. This will help keep us organized as we tour homes, and we'll select the ones that are top contenders and move them up to the scale from top contender to a home that we'll make an offer on, or we'll move them down in scale to homes that we're no longer interested in and we're tossing out. So that's typically how the process works. When we're ready to tour, before we tour, I always meet with my clients, typically at a Starbucks, to buy them a cup of coffee, relax, talk a little bit, before we go on our actual tour. This is a very important meeting because it gives me a chance to discuss how I process this journey with my clients, how we shop for homes, what my role is in that process, and what they can expect from me. Another important aspect of this buyer consultation is going over the initial paperwork. Okay, so there's agreements that need to be signed, and there's other legal documents that we need to go over. One of the things that's very important to me as a real estate agent is to always make sure my client has a heads up, that they can see what's coming down or coming down the road and what we will anticipate experiencing. It's called forecasting. So that's one of the major things that I do for my clients. I'm really good at making sure they're not caught by surprise. Buying a home is very difficult. There's a lot of decisions involved. And whenever you have decisions, there's a decent amount of anxiety that goes with that. If you're caught by surprise by situations in this buying process, that only elevates the anxiety. So I want to keep things cool and calm as we flow through this process so everything works smoothly and we make it to the finish line of closing. So without further ado, since they're not here yet and we got a little bit of time, let me give you a sneak preview of what I go through with my client in terms of the initial documentation. Come on in, let's go in and have a cup of coffee.
The exclusive buyer brokerage engagement agreement basically lays out the terms and conditions of the agreement between the buyer and the agent. There are several key terms that includes the duration of the agreement and the role of the agent, as well as the fees and the buyer's agent commission are identified in the agreement and are negotiable. That is a quick summary of the agreement. I do go more in depth with my clients in the meeting, but I think that gives you a basic idea of what's in the document. In the consultation, we look at a comparable market analysis. I go into depth in a YouTube video on my channel, Cliff is my agent, discussing how a comparable market analysis works and why it's important. Comparable market analysis is key in determining a fair market value offer to purchase a home. Once we find a home that my clients are interested in buying, I will obtain a seller's property disclosure statement. During this consultation, I want to show this document because it weighs heavy in terms of evaluating the home's condition and other key issues. The condition of the home, the age of the major systems in the home, can impact the valuation analysis in conjunction with a comparable market analysis. For example, if the HVAC system of a home is 10 plus years, one could reduce the valuation of the comparable market analysis to anticipate having to replace the system because of its age. I make it a point to go over the seller's disclosures with my clients for that reason. The purchase and sale agreement is the contract to purchase a home. It identifies an offer that the buyer is willing to make. In addition, it identifies the closing costs requested by the buyer, closing date, time to convey possession of the property, closing attorney, earnest money, and the time the earnest money will be paid. And last but not least, the due diligence period. That's the period where each side is given to complete tasks before the contract is cemented at the end of due diligence. It's very important to understand the terms and conditions that you agree to in the contract, as they cannot be changed unless the change is mutually agreed to. The exception is if the buyer decides to terminate the contract before due diligence. The remaining documents, closing attorney acting as holder of earnest money, and the financial contingency forms, are formalities that are included when an offer on a purchase is made. They're more incidental. However, I think it's important to review these documents with my clients, as they are going to have to sign those documents when an offer is made. So I go over these documents so that they are not caught by surprise and that they have some sense of familiarity with the documents. The financial contingency loan document deals with situations in which a home may not appraise for the purchase price. As your real estate agent, I will help you through that process. It can be a little complicated. However, it's rare that a home does not appraise for its purchase price, but it can happen, and that there are ways to deal with it. Chances are you went night-night right after the exclusive buyer-broker agreement. Well, it's more exciting when we get together at Starbucks. Let me put it that way.
So now that we've finished our consultation, it's time to go to our homes. Let's go.